Okay, I've got this heated vest that I got off Amazon. It was about $85. I recently went to Ohio to do some hunting in southern Ohio. The week I went happened to be the coldest week they've had at that time of the year on record in a long time. The mornings were in the mid-teens. In the afternoons, it was in the low 30s. So it was cold. When I got this vest, I wasn't sure how well it would work, but now after using it in the field, I love it. This thing has a heating zone here. It's got another one in your upper back, and then it's got one around your neck back here. So when you cut this thing on, I mean, you definitely feel it. Here's the battery that comes with it. I think this thing actually does a little bit better than what it says in the specifications about how much battery life you'll get depending on what level setting you have the vest on. So I sat for maybe 3 hours and it was on the highest setting. This thing says on the highest setting you should get about 3.5 hours. I sat with it for almost 3 hours on the highest setting and I've still got 34% of the battery. Let's verify that. Yep. So I've still got 34% after 3 hours of sitting with this on high power. So the book says at high power about 3.5 hours, medium power about 5.5 hours, and on low power you can get about 10 hours. For a hunting situation, this thing is nylon. I thought it was going to be a different material. So obviously you can hear that. But for me, when I went out into the woods, I'd wear a long sleeve shirt, put this on over it, and then put a sweater on over that. And then I'd have my, external hunting jacket, coat, that type of thing. And at that point, the noise this thing makes is almost reduced to nothing. I'm not saying it's 100% silent, but when you're sitting in the woods and it's 19 degrees and the wind's blowing 15 miles an hour in your face, yeah, I'll sacrifice that slight bit of noise for the heat and warmth this thing generates. Because for me, it'll certainly extend your ability to sit in the woods and hunt longer and be comfortable. Really good vest. I'll put a link in the description in Amazon where I got it from. So if you're interested in it, you can try one out. And I think, if you're sitting in some really cold stuff and, you're fighting it to stay out there, this will certainly improve your conditions and you won't mind being in the cold as much. And with this, there's a little icon thing right here, which is actually the button. So you just hold it down for 2 seconds and then it actually lights up. Okay, let's do that. So inside the jacket, there's a pocket. There's actually another one on the other side too. But this side, on the left side, has the cord. Let's plug it up. You just tuck it in your pocket, zip it up. And that's the other thing I like about this. It has this collar part that goes up around your neck, and it actually puts heat into that. Not all the way in it, but the heat's more in the back, but it's enough to keep you warm up there. So you'll just hold the button down for a couple seconds. See how it lit up? And then you can change the settings. So high, medium, low. Another thing to note when you're trying to charge the battery of the vest, if you have one of these and it's just kind of a generic a plug-in, be wary of that, because the first night I had it and I depleted the battery, I came back and plugged it in, and after like 45 minutes, the number setting on the battery was still the same. It hadn't changed at all. And so I thought, man, like the first time I charged it up, I noticed probably after 10 minutes it at least moved 1%. And this was like maybe even an hour later, it hadn't moved any. So I went into town and I got a good quality one of these that was maybe $25. As soon as I went back and plugged that into the wall and then used just any old generic extension piece to plug into it, it started charging just like that. I mean, within 10 minutes, it was just bumping up. So keep that in mind when you're charging. Be careful about just some cheap generic plug-in into the wall. It may not charge it properly. Size-wise for the vest, I got a medium. My chest is about 41.5 inches around. I'm 5'9", weigh about 175 pounds. And this fits really nice. It's nice and snug, but not too tight at all. And I can put something else under it. I couldn't put a sweatshirt under it, but a long sleeve kind of base layer under it, no problem. Maybe even a t-shirt and then a base layer or vice versa. But just want to give you some size reference, so if you're going to get one yourself, it'll maybe help you look at the sizing chart. So I would highly recommend trying one of these, especially if you find yourself wanting to hunt in the cold, but it can get really, really cold, and it's not as fun to sit there and shiver and fight the cold. So this will make a big difference in how you feel in the woods. All right, thank you for watching.